won't.
You get a special intro today for a very special episode of Jalen and Jacoby. This is our second edition of Storytime Special with Jalen Rose. Storytime Project is something we started a long time under the Grantland banner. And one of the reasons we did is because you get asked about a couple things more than anything else in the world. Obviously, the Fab Five and the timeout. And Kobe Bryant scoring 81 points on your Toronto Raptors. To end all of that, to tell the story once and for all, we have the story time when Kobe Bryant scored 81 points on your Toronto Raptors. Let's watch.
If Michael Jordan is the original, Kobe Bryant is the remix, baby.
Gather round, it's story time. Yeah! Story time with Jalen Rose.
Toronto Raptors, we hoped to be a playoff team. We had some injuries. And it was right after we had just traded Vince Carter. I actually came there to run with Vince. Hey, yeah, I'm going to Toronto to run with Vince. Absolutely, that'll be great. And before I knew it, they were complaining about where his mom parked and complaining about him. I'm like, this guy's a superstar player. Like, leave him alone. Mess with these other 13 guys. We were playing a 1-2-2 zone in the NBA versus Kobe Bryant. Yeah. And we were winning earlier in the game. So it gave us, I guess, some false sense of security. Duh, who's Kobe going to pass it to? All right, Smush Parker, he's open for a jumper. Okay. So before you know it, Kobe's putting up pretty good numbers, but he's not really going off. I think he probably had 20-something in the first half. And then I want to say he erupted for like 40 or something in the third quarter.
How does that happen?
He was dominant over us. You know when you growing up and then the rim in the backyard is 8 foot tall and there's one guy that can really probably dunk on the 10-foot hoop, but he's playing on the 8-foot hoop? That's how he was dominant, putting a smack down on us. He really did.
Is he talking to you?
He didn't say a word. And we thought about doing some things to him during the game. I remember one time we came to the sideline and Mike James, myself, and a couple of guys huddled up and we were talking to Sam Mitchell about, hey, Coach, think we might want to double team that guy? Maybe make someone else beat us? That may help.
And it never happened.
He was playing one-on-one between the legs, behind the back for three to the basket. I just remember realizing at one point in the game, this may be something historic happening right now.
Were you checking him?
Oh, I did guard him. I got a healthy 19. But I was so frustrated, I'm like, Coach, we got to make this guy at least work on D. Right now he's guarding me. I'm about to take him to the post. Sam Mitchell got so mad at me for doing that, he didn't want me, A, to do it again. B, he took me out.
Why didn't you guys double team him?
That's a great question. And coaches go through this sometime. Since you didn't listen to me 100%, I'm going to watch you suffer. And coaches do that to their basketball teams when they feel like they want to send a message to the team.
So you think Sam Mitchell was trying to send a message to the team?
Absolutely. But Kobe sent a stronger one to all of us.
When you huddle up with Mike and Mo, what did you guys say to each other?
We suck. We're idiots. How do we let that happen? Why didn't we clothesline that guy? But you know what? All of that is a tribute to the respect that we have for Kobe. Because if he would have been taunting in any way, shape, or form, it would have all went different. When you're going against a guy like that, there are going to be historic nights. And it's not like Luke Walton scored 20 on me. Like, if that would have happened, I would have buried my head in the sand.
Why you got to take shots at Luke Walton at the end, Jalen? Why you got to take shots at Luke Walton? I forgot about that part.
I wasn't taking shots at him.
Yes, you were.
I just was using him as an example. He's a championship player. I love his father, Bill, and he's doing a great job with the Lakers.
We're gonna do some actual research and find a time when Luke Walton actually did score 20 on you, because I know it happened. I know it happened at some point in your career. It must have. These were so much fun to do because they unveiled the sort of what you call behind-the-curtain stories of these big moments, like the Kobe 81 and some of the stuff that happened with the Fab Five. But the next story is something that you just casually mentioned to me and Bill Simmons, the Podfather, in the airport once. And it is probably the best story time we've ever done, and you didn't ever want to tell it. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you?
I hope not.
This is when Jalen Rose was almost assassinated.
I haven't told this story, okay, of when somebody tried to assassinate me and my good friend Riz. You're the only person I told this story to. I ain't proud of this story. September 2003, hanging with my good friend. His name is Riz. We at the apartment in Santa Monica playing John Madden football, just chilling. Then it's about 12 a.m. We're like, you know what? Let's go make a couple of moves. Let's hit the streets for a minute. So we jump in the drop-top Bentley. Now, granted, this wasn't my car. My actual car that I was driving at the time was a souped-up Cadillac truck. And I was trying to put so many beats, so many televisions into it, it continued to have problems with wiring. They felt bad and gave me a loaner car. Hey, I'd ride a drop-top Bentley in L.A., little Detroit kid, why not? We go to the Sunset Room. Champagne in the campaigner, letting it do what it do. Just so happened that's the night that the Los Angeles Sparks had also won the championship. I'm friends with Lisa Leslie. Go give her a hug, congratulations, celebrate with them. Jump in the car, trying to make sure everybody good. You good, Lisa? Your peeps good? How do you get to the 405? What's the fastest way? I'm like, I got a way. Just follow me right up Sunset. Y'all can jump right on, and boom, y'all on your way, I'm on my way. So we just riding, listening to the tunes, no big deal. Detroit kids riding through Bel Air. We pull up on the light at Sunset in Barrington. And I glance to my right, I see a red Cadillac truck. And I see the dome light come on. And a dude gets out of the back passenger seat, scurries around the car, comes right up to the passenger side of the car, and pulls out a 9mm. And at first, like anybody else, I froze. I didn't know what to say, what to do. It wasn't my car. I didn't have no problems giving up the car. But for some reason, I saw smoke coming out of his nose and out of his ears. I felt like if he got what he wanted, maybe he still was going to give us a couple of hot ones. And so as he began to speak, I felt that he, I guess, relaxed or put his guard down. At least that's what I thought. So I hit the gas. And he shot that car. I have the forensic pictures. 9 times. So I'm driving, scooting down, doing my best impression of somebody that's just trying to be a getaway driver. As we got past the 405, I see the car smoking. I'm like, I'm not hit. And I look over at Riz. He's bleeding crazy from the side of his face. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So I wanted to give my good friend some comfort. I'm like, it's gonna be all right. I'm gonna get you to the hospital. He was like, I know, got shot in my face, but it hurt in my neck. We didn't go from Detroit to Bel Air for this. This wasn't written in the Fresh Prince. So I reached down and I got my cell phone. It was on the floor, and I knew he was listening to the call. Of course, I'm freaking out, but I'm not the one that just got shot, so I don't want him to panic either. When they answer, I'm like, I'm on Sunset, passing the 405. My dog just got shot. Please tell me where the closest hospital is. I need to get to the emergency room immediately. I take the directions, hit a few lefts, hit a few rights. I look up, it's a veterinarian hospital. I'm like, I told her my dog got shot. And just by the grace, it seemed like the sky just opened up. I looked again, and it was a big, huge hospital. Whipped up at the hospital, car still smoking. We jump out, we put him on the gurney, rush him right into surgery. Riz still has that bullet lodged in his neck to this day.
Story times. Jalen, set up the next one.
There are a lot of people out here who actually deal with ADHD, and I'm probably one of those. The first time it probably got diagnosed as a professional was as a member of the Indiana Pacers. I love their franchise, and they probably were doing me a favor, exposing me to something I didn't really know I had. Welcome to Story Time. This is Jalen Rose. I'm going to kick it to you about the time the Indiana Pacers diagnosed me with ADHD. 1996, just got traded to the Pacers, and for whatever reason, Larry Brown just wasn't a fan of mine. First thing he does is bring me in the office and break me all the way down to the last compound. Chris Webber and Juwan Howard, they're up here. They're really talented. They're really accomplished. They're going to have long careers in this league. Ray Jackson and Jimmy Keane, they're trying to find their ways. They're trying to figure it out. You're right in the middle, and I'm going to determine which way you go. I was like, no, you're not. During that year, I missed a career high 15 games due to DNPs. Did not play, coach's decision. So when he's talking over plays and going over instruction, yeah, I'm probably whispering to the guy standing next to me. Yeah, when you look down at the bench and I'm sitting so far like I need a pager to put me in the game, I'm not interested. That's a fact. It was the trainer who told me that the organization felt like I had ADHD. Would I be willing to take the ADHD test? I was like, I'd take the test. I'm not tripping. I know I don't have it.
What is ADHD?
I set you up for that one, didn't I? Attention deficit. Something disorder. Health disorder?
Keep going.
Hazard disorder. No, it can't be that. Not hourly. Attention deficit Geraldo disorder. I don't know. What does the H stand for?
Hyperactive, I'm going with?
Oh.
Are you hyperactive?
Absolutely yes.
Do you have a deficit of attention?
Yes. I'll tune you out in a minute. Yeah.
Do you have attention deficit hyperactive disorder? What would be your answer?
No. There was a therapist who showed up that asked me a couple of questions. I think some of the questions were leading questions. When you're watching TV, do you listen to the radio? Yeah. When somebody else is talking, are you completely silent? No, not 100% of the time. When you're taking a test, does your mind wander and you start to think about other things? Yeah, of course, it's a test.
Where did your mind wander?
Are they coming to polish off the marble floor today? Should I eat more seafood because I hear that's good for your brain? The size of the rims on my car, getting bigger tires, getting louder music in the car, getting more dogs. Do I have ADHD?
Do you think they predetermined the results before they even started?
Yes. The trainer would give me the pills. So for me, it started to become, oh, and you take these as well. I'm like, not gonna be able to do it! So I just threw them in the garbage. Finger roll.
You've said that you don't have ADHD, and you've said you have it both at least 5 times during this conversation. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's the key. I'm not claiming anything. I have enough titles. I have enough baggage. I'm not putting that on me.
Jalen, as someone who's worked with you for over 6 years, I can't imagine where anyone would get the idea that you have trouble focusing, or that perhaps you're hyperactive, or you might not 100% be present at all times during a conversation. I can't imagine where anyone would get that idea.
The Indiana Pacers so much. They did so much for me on and off the floor. Thank you, Nap Time, forever.
Well, while you were on the Pacers, you had a Christmas Day game, and you got ejected. Let's watch.
Had I known I was getting ejected on Christmas Day, I would have made it worth it. I would have let somebody bowl me upside of my head and not do nothing. I love playing on Christmas. On Christmas Day, you got to get your hair right, your gear right, your shoes right. The suit that you wearing to the game got to be cleaner than the Board of Health. You got to be tight on Christmas Day. Everybody's watching. Well, anytime you're a member of the Pacers and you're going against the Knicks, it's going to be a physical game. There'll be a lot of trash talking. You're going to get hard fouls. It just came with the territory. Then it sprinkled to young pups like myself who got a chance to be a part of the rivalry. There I am, Pat Ewing, Mr. Baseline Jumper, and get the board. Look at a quick tip. Mark Jackson, get off me. Boom, shoulder me. Oh, he bowls me again. Bowls me again. And then it becomes an NBA. Hold me back. Kurt Thomas said that I was some little punk that acts like I'm tough. I didn't act tough at all. I didn't throw an elbow. I didn't throw a shoulder. I didn't throw a punch. I was trying to save myself some fine money, and I was trying not to be ejected on Christmas Day. If I'd have thought I was going to get ejected by letting somebody elbow me in the head 2 times, here's what I would have done. I would have looked left. Where's Dale? Look right. Where's Antonio? Then I would have gave him a two-piece, one with the right and then one with the left. And then yelled, hold me back. You know the real problem with Kurt Thomas that day? It was not me. Look at them cornrows. They was barely making it. Like the struggle braids, as we called them. Your hair is truly not long enough to have them. So you want to represent like Spreewell. You want to be Allen Iverson. But they're so tight, and people have to just pull and pull and pull till they finally get braided, and then it just wrinkles your forehead and it pulls your eyes all the way back. I think they were so tight they was impairing his judgment. I really believe that. The bottom line, we were rivals. The Pacers didn't like the Knicks and vice versa. It was no big deal. I played with Kurt in Phoenix, and we laughed and joked about this a million times. We 100, it's all good. Great uncle, Paramore Hicks Jr., for everyone that knew him, he's the world's greatest entertainer. He did magic tricks, he told jokes, and in his room, he has something we call hanger vision. Multiple 13-inch TVs stacked on top of one another. So it was an awesome setup. My uncle worked 40 hours a week, then he worked overtime, then he got double time. So once the weekend came, that was his time to relax. So my Aunt Barbara, she treats my uncle like a pharaoh, and rightfully so. When he's at home on the weekend, his feet don't touch the floor. Barbara's cooking up the buffet. Picture your favorite Thanksgiving dinner, like my aunt did that every weekend. Go downstairs, you get Uncle Paramore a plate. What you want to drink? Put all of the juices in the cup. Just get the biggest cup you can, put all of them in there. He was that dude. My Uncle Paramore had the neighborhood pool. If you came to the pool, Uncle P had one rule. You had to bring a cup of bleach, he poured it in the pool, and for some strange reason, he would spit on his hand, lick his hand, and rub your wrist. See if you had dirt on your wrist. I guess you could get in if you had dirty wrists. He taught every kid in the neighborhood or anybody that ever came to the house how to swim. Everybody except me. Eventually it became a running joke. Like everybody learned how to swim from your uncle except you. Chilling in the house, been working all week. It's a Saturday. And Barbara needs to go to the store. So me and my cousin Tilvon were watching television. And we were like, let's go outside and play. Now, I don't know why we were so enthused about going outside in the middle of winter to play in Detroit, but we did. So we're in the backyard. The pool was frozen with ice. Had on my winter coat, my Scully, my boots. I've been watching a lot of wrestling. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Roddy Piper. So me and my cousin Tilvon decided we were gonna start at the ledge of the pool, run backwards 5 steps to get a bounce off of the fence, then get a running start and jump over the pool. And nobody couldn't tell me I wasn't gonna jump over the pool. And it shows that I had irrational confidence all the way back then. We measured it, walked up to the edge of the pool, went back to the fence, bounced off the fence, got a running start. I jumped in, my older cousin didn't. I'm drowning in the pool that probably has 25% water in it. She freaks out, she runs into the house and gets my Uncle Paramore and alerts him that I'm in the pool drowning. He laying up in the house on his throne, in his underwear, just chilling on his day off. It's the weekend. Now, while she's gone, their dog named Wolf was pulling my winter coat, trying to help me get out of the pool. Uncle Paramore came running out in his underwear. He says all he can see is my big eyes and the big hood just being pulled by Wolf. So he says he jumps in the pool, and at first he slips because Wolf has been crapping in the pool all winter. And so I'm in the pool, half ice, a lot of crap. He pulls me out of the pool. When we got into the house, my uncle resuscitating me. I'm laying on the living room floor. I'll never forget when I finally came to. It seemed like Aunt Barbara had just walked in the house from the store. What in the hell is going on in here? My late great Uncle Paramore Hicks saved my life. And I'm grateful he did because he taught me how to give the people what they want. I love and miss you, Uncle P. Rest in peace. These are terrific stories. I'm so glad you guys took me down memory lane. Rest in peace, Uncle P. I love you very much.
Of course, thank you so much for watching this special edition of Jalen and Jacoby. We'll be back tomorrow with another dope show to step to.
Thank you.
Until then, make sure you subscribe to our podcast and DVR Jalen and Jacoby every day on ESPN2.
On Lennox, and I believe it's a great matchup. A striker versus grappler, great guy on the ground, some crazy, sick submissions, and I don't see it going.